Guys, so today finally, after being on Instagram for a year and a half, I wanted to tell you a story of how I became an intimacy coach. Something I've been talking about for a long time, but I was never able to make real. I want you to know that this space of being an intimacy and self love coach is a very sacred space for me. Is why you don't see fluff. I'm not selling sex, I'm not selling me. All I'm trying to talk to you about is the truth of life, the truth of how this space has come to me in a way that I had to go through certain experiences in my life to be able to come here and talk about this in ways that has connected with you, and I'm genuinely so grateful to you and to God. So let's start this story. So guys, the story starts in March of 2023. This is almost 3 years ago when I lost my father. He was 68 years old. He was my love, he was my spine, he was my provider, protector, everything, the masculine that has taken care of me and has been there for me my whole life. Now, unfortunately, it was pretty sudden. Within a year, 6 months, things got bad and we lost him. Now, at this time, I'm 42 years old and I'm an absolute atheist. मैं atheism का प्रचार करती थी, so to speak, where I have fought with my family for idol worship. I have fought with my mom for rules and regulations, and then I'm someone who believed in the Big Bang, evolution, someone who used to meditate, but the meditation was not religious. It was more spiritual. It was connected to the universal energy. It was connected to the chakras. And and for me, that was the universal energy, correct? So now Dad passes away. I have lost the one human that I have been so completely attached to, that my entire being kind of broke after that. Within 6 months of my dad passing away, when we are grieving and I'm trying to get over things, I have a dear friend of mine. She's also an astrologer, but kind of a psychic. And in August 2023, she started getting visions in her meditation. And she said, Shruti, your time has come now to get in touch with a guru. And this is a guru that her and I used to watch on podcasts, and I was very intrigued by it. Because he came as a practitioner. He didn't come from a place where he was just talking about basic religion and stories. He was talking about his own experiences, and something was very, very intriguing about it, and I kept getting pulled to it. And whilst his podcasts are coming, me and my friend are talking about it, she starts getting visions, and she has messaged me 3 continuous days that, Shruti, please message him. I have his number. Your time has come. And I'm like, no, why are you doing this to me? I'm an atheist. Why are we getting connected to a guru when I'm not able to connect to God? Like, shouldn't God come first and then a guru, etc.? But the 4th day I succumbed and I told her, okay, for you, I will send that message. And I sent that message to that guru. So after 2 days, Guruji replies back asking me several questions, how I got his number, etc. And then the 3rd day, he meditated on me. And then he messaged me saying that, okay, now I know why you have reached out to me. Really, some very, very tough and terrible times of your life are coming. I didn't take it seriously at that time because I was like, my dad has already passed away. The worst is over. Like, what is he talking about? Now imagine an atheist, okay? But for some reason, I don't know why, he put me on a sadhana of a goddess, and he said, do this with full intensity. And it just takes 2-3 minutes, and just light a diya and keep her picture and just do it because I'm asking you to. And I have never listened to any guru, my mother, nobody. I wasn't even scared that, okay, maybe my worst times are coming, I should do it, because for me, I was like, okay, this is the end. It can't get worse than this. But I don't know, something kept me, and I did it. Within a month of this happening, I had a terrible, terrible fallout with my family. It was nobody's fault. These energies had to drop from my life. I moved out of my parents' apartment and I went and I lived on my own. I had never been financially independent because I was the so-called Papa Ki Pari. And I'll be very honest about it. It's not that I'm trying to act like some, really cool girl or a spoiled girl, but I was in a lot of ways back then. So these sadhanas are going on. I'm not just lonely, I'm also alone now because I'm living in an empty apartment, which I have never done. So I've moved out 3-4 times in my entire life, but I have never lived alone. I've always had a flatmate, or I've lived with my exes, and this is all brand new for me. But there was something holding me very strongly, which I much later realized was the divine energy and the protection that gave me the strength to handle this. Now, this is all happening in August, September, October, November, December of 2023. Jan 24 hits, and things have gotten bad to worse because I can't believe that I've lost everybody in my life. My best friend of 20 years, I let her go. And that's how these energies dropped. And I'm literally all alone. In Jan 24, I'm going through a really bad, painful time. I'm having suicidal instincts. Never did anything about it, but I was scared. I was lonely. Yes, I had a job, to be honest, which really helped me pay my bills and take care of me. I had some savings, which I was digging into, but I really didn't have that much money in me to take me 6 months from that day. And I reached out to my Guruji again, and he always told me that, Shruti, I'm not your guru, I'm your mentor, I'm your guide. So you can call me sir. And I was beyond grateful, but for me, he was and still is my guru and will always be. So now, my sir, in January, when I told him this is what is happening, I'm at the bottom of the barrel, and there's 100 feet of crap, and then there's me, way below that, sunken, completely sunken. I reach out to my Guruji again, and I'm telling him that this is what is happening, and then he brings Bhairav Baba in my life, which is Batuk Bhairav, and he said, now start chanting his name and stay strong and don't worry, everything is okay. And he's right there next to me. And suddenly, now this is happening in Jan. So in January 2024, Shiva comes into my life in the form of Batuk Bhairav. So now it's February 2024 after Shiva has entered my life. A very dear friend of mine visits me from the US. He's in Bombay for 3 days. Now this man is a very important piece in this story of how I became an intimacy coach and how I believe that Shiva and Ma sent him in my life. This man was a friend who runs a non-for-profit that rescues women and children from sex trafficking. Now imagine the level of mental health and the intensity that this man needs to do the work that he's doing. I always talk to you guys about intimacy, that there are 4 forms of intimacies. There's sexual, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. Now in those 3 days, guys, you have to hear this. Except sexual intimacy, I experienced all 3 intimacies with this man. The clothes never came off. It was all about healing each other. We're crying, we're having conversations on our life. It was so intense that I couldn't believe that these were even intimacies. I didn't even know the word intimacy at that time, right? So for me at that time, I'm in shock and awe. What happened to my nervous system? What happened to my body? What is happening to my soul? Everything just seemed so wholesome and profound. I'm absolutely shell-shocked, okay? Now, 4th day, my friend leaves for Bali for a retreat. He does a video call to me in the night from Bali. Listen to the story of how the universe, which is Ma and Shiva, how they have conspired to send people and things that have happened in a way that it pushed me in this direction of becoming an intimacy coach. Coming back. So this man goes to Bali. He does a video call to me from there. And he just tells me, Shruti, I had the most amazing morning and what conversations over breakfast. And I have a friend who's an intimacy and relationship coach. I don't know, something hit me and I was like, wo batti jalti hai? And something rang so hard in my head, the bell. I was like, what is an intimacy coach? He's like, you don't know? I said, no, I had no clue. I've heard of life coaches, I've heard of therapists, but intimacy coach क्या होता है? तब तो intimacy का मतलब ही मुझे इतना detail में नहीं पता था. How I know today. But because that bell rang so hard in my head, the next 4-5 days, I went all out in doing research of what an intimacy and relationship coach does. And that's when I found out the work that I'm doing is what they do. And it's much more deeper. The level I'm at with you guys right now is still at a very low level. There are so many levels to this, correct? And we'll get to that as and when this journey that we're experiencing together moves forward, right? 4 दिन हो गए, मैंने सब Google कर लिया. Now imagine again the 5th day. I have 2 friends whom I have not met in 5-6 months. I bump into them individually under my office building, and they both end up asking me, Shruti, have you heard of Mind Valley? And I was like, no, I don't know. They're like, no, because you meditate, you should check them out. They have some amazing meditations and courses, that you should check out. I said, okay, I'm going to do that. Now I'm Googling Mind Valley. I've gone to their website. I've downloaded their app, and I'm going crazy because it was so incredible that the work that they do. And then I find out that Mind Valley also creates coaches. Can you believe that? And I'm already thinking about the intimacy relationship coach. Here I'm Googling Mind Valley, and Mind Valley creates coaches, and I send them an email and I said, can someone please contact me because I want to understand how to become a life coach. Next day I get an email back. A time is set for the call the day after that, and on that call I find out that the Mind Valley course starts in a week. And in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, they only had 2 or 3 courses in a year, and each course was like 4 months long. And imagine the course was starting in a week. And I was like, dude, sign me up. I didn't have that kind of money also, to be honest, in my bank. I borrowed a little bit from here and there, and I told my friends that for a year, please don't ask for this money back. March 2025 is when you get all your money back. Till then, just let me do what I'm doing. And of course, they love me and they were there for me, and it worked out. And can you imagine, in March, I start the course. While I'm doing my job as a realtor in a multinational, my course starts. I meet this incredible star family people from across the world who are still some of my closest friends today. Now, in June, I have successfully got my certificate to become a relationship intimacy coach. A month before that, if you guys remember, in May 2024 is the first time I came on Instagram on a public profile. I have a private page, but I've never been very public about work and never been in the public eye. Let's keep it at that. And I was so nervous. I remember I had clammy hands and I was so scared. And I was talking to these friends, from across the world who are all a part of the Mind Valley community. And one of my very dear friends, Christina, who's from Portugal, she told me something so profound. She said, Shruti, your purpose is more important than your fear. And when she said the word purpose, I was like, okay, this is my purpose. This can be my purpose. And I came online, and that's when the journey started. And we haven't stopped. And Ma and Baba and their presence only increased in my life. I ended up going to Kashi in November 24, where I realized Shiva inside me on the ghat. And it was so profound. I mean, it's been quite an epic journey, and while this is happening, my entire family has come back into my life slowly. My friends have come back, money's come back slowly and steadily, and it's just been so profound. I mean, while I'm on this journey, I want to tell you, I know you guys look at me as a life coach, but I really want you to know that I have learned so much from so many of you all who have given me the honor to be your coach. I have learned so much from you, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. To see your journey, to hold yourself together, to fight, to love, to come back to yourself, understand yourself better, and then go to your partners, when you're completely full. And I have no words, by the way, and none of this is scripted. I'm just talking. Things are coming to me, and I'm so much in gratitude for this journey. All I ask from all of you is to stay with me on this journey. You guys know the work I do. We're here to have a better life. We all know how strongly intimacy, insecurities, self love, lack of all of this can impact your everyday life. It has impacted me. I have been in 4 serious relationships, including a marriage. For some or the other reason, walked out of them. Some being the shortest, less than 6 or 9 months, one being a 7-year relationship. I have seen the best and the worst in these relationships. I have made so many mistakes, which I wasn't even acknowledging. So in 2022, I went to a life coach first. This is even a year before my dad passed away. And I saw the impact she had on me. Is why I know what I'm doing is so impactful, and the work, and it's a gift. I know I'm being used as a tool. It's so obvious. Everything that I'm talking about, it's impossible for a girl like me who comes from a city like Bombay, who's lived a modern life. She couldn't have what she has, and the things that I talk to you about. I know I'm a tool here. And that's why everything is so grounded. Everything is just so with love for humanity, for you. I'm just so grateful, and let's see where it goes from now. But you needed to know this journey of how intimacy and self-love coach came. And last year I quit my job, July 25. I'm doing this full time now. There's no salary coming in. I'm in such an amazing space of surrender to Shiva and Ma, because everything has been so organic, everything has been so surreal. It's so divine. A girl who was an atheist has this big puja room. I painted this. This is Ma Bhagwati Durga, which I didn't even know I was painting her. When I started painting her, I thought she's just the divine woman. And I ended up painting her. And the last part of my spiritual journey is that just recently I got Diksha from my guru. I found another guru who says he's my guru, and he's holding space for me. And this is going to be my gift to him, because I painted this in December and I didn't even know. And just 4 days ago, I was with him where I got my Diksha, and he introduced me to Ma Bhagwati, and she was not even in my life. And just so much gratitude. It's madness. Think about the journey that I'm talking to you about, how overwhelming the last 3 years have been since Dad passed away. Every single conversation that I have with you guys, my clients, it is so wholesome, it is so deep, it is so connected, and I'm just so grateful. But yeah, you had to know this story, so you know this journey that I'm on is not fluff, is not rubbish. It's very, very sacred for me. It's very divine. I want us to laugh together. I want us to love together. I want to come back to love, come back to intimacy, come back to, creating the spark back with your partners, come back to feeling secure again, get rid of loneliness. I want to help everybody not feel lonely, because I went through that journey and I overcame it. I want people to learn how to do that. And it's tough. I'm not saying it was easy. You heard my story. But only when you go through that, these are awakenings, when you go through the darkness, that's seriously when the light comes, it sounds like something from a song, I think, but it makes sense. So let's come back to light. And I love you all so much, and I hope I keep getting your support. And this is me signing off. Jai Bhairav Baba, Jai Ma Tara, Jai Ma Bhagwati, Jai Ma Kali.